Let me ask you this. How many times have you replayed someone's disrespect in your mind, searching for answers, wondering what you could have done differently? It's exhausting, isn't it? That feeling of betrayal, of being undervalued, it lingers, pulling you into a cycle of overthinking and self-doubt. But today, I want you to hear this loud and clear. That disrespect should be your closure. You don't need a heartfelt apology, a long-winded explanation, or a moment of recognition from them to move on. Their actions, the way they treated you, are all the closure you need. Think about it. When someone disrespects you, they're showing you exactly who they are. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their character, and yet so often we stay stuck waiting for something that will never come. A change of heart, a moment of accountability, or even just a shred of remorse. But here's the truth. You don't need any of that. Their disrespect was the moment you needed to wake up to see the situation for what it truly is, and to walk away with your dignity intact. Imagine this. You're holding onto a broken rope, and the more you cling to it, the deeper the cuts in your hands. That's what holding on to disrespect feels like. It hurts, it drains you, and it keeps you tied to someone who doesn't deserve your energy. But when you let go, when you decide that their disrespect is the end of the story, you free yourself. You stop waiting for closure from someone who isn't capable of giving it, and you start creating your own. Here's what I want you to remember. Closure isn't something you get from someone else, it's something you give yourself. It's the moment you say, I deserve better, and I refuse to settle for less. When you embrace this mindset, everything changes. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't listen. You stop defending your worth to those who don't value it. And most importantly, you stop allowing disrespect to take up space in your life. Instead, you channel that energy into growth. You focus on your peace, your happiness, and your future. And let me tell you, there's nothing more powerful than someone who chooses themselves over the chaos others bring. Because here's what happens when you let their disrespect be your closure. You rise, you heal, and you move forward with a strength they'll never understand. While they stay stuck in their patterns, you're out there building a life that reflects your worth, a life filled with respect, love, and fulfillment. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't beg for an explanation. Don't wait for an apology. Take it as a sign, a gift even, that it's time to close that chapter and start a new one. Let their actions be the period at the end of the sentence, not a comma that keeps you lingering in uncertainty. You deserve people who uplift you, who see your value, and who treat you with the respect you give so freely. And if someone can't do that, let them go. Because in the end, their disrespect isn't your burden to carry, it's your reason to move on. And in moving on, you reclaim your power, your peace, and your purpose. So let that disrespect be your closure. Walk away with your head held high, knowing you've chosen yourself. And as you move forward, remember this. You are worthy of so much more than they ever gave. Choose to believe it, choose to live it, and never look back. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a question. Have you ever walked away from someone or something and realized it was the best decision you ever made? It wasn't easy, was it? But deep down you knew your absence would speak louder than your presence ever could. Today, I want to talk about the power of walking away and how, when you do, they will regret your absence forever. Picture this. You've been giving your all, your time, your energy, your love, to someone who didn't appreciate it. You bent over backwards, stayed up late worrying, and sacrificed your own needs just to make them happy. But no matter how much you gave, it was never enough. They took you for granted, assuming you'd always be there, always giving, always forgiving. But then, one day, something changed. You realized your worth. You saw that staying wasn't strength, it was settling. And with that clarity, you made the decision to walk away. Here's the thing they don't tell you about absence. It's not just the lack of presence. It's the echo of everything you brought to the table. It's the realization that they lost someone who cared, someone who stayed when no one else would, someone who gave them more chances than they deserved. At first they might not notice. They might think they've moved on, that life will go on as usual. But slowly, like the ticking of a clock in an empty room, your absence will start to haunt them. They'll remember the way you always listened when no one else did. They'll miss the comfort of knowing someone truly had their back, and they'll regret all the times they didn't say thank you, all the moments they didn't show up for you the way you showed up for them. You see, your absence is a mirror. It forces them to confront what they lost, not just a person, but a presence. The kind of presence that made their world brighter, calmer, and more meaningful. But here's the most important part. This isn't about revenge. It's not about making them suffer or proving a point. It's about you. Walking away is a declaration of self-respect, a choice to prioritize your own peace and happiness. When you choose yourself, you're sending a powerful message, not just to them, but to the universe. You're saying, I deserve better. I deserve to be valued, respected, and cherished. And when you live in that truth, you attract people and opportunities that align with your worth. So to anyone out there doubting their decision to leave, trust me, they will regret your absence. But more importantly, you will thrive in their absence, because here's the truth: your worth isn't defined by how others treat you. It's defined by how you treat yourself. And when you choose to walk away from disrespect, you're choosing a life filled with love, peace, and possibility. Let them regret. Let them reflect. But don't let it hold you back. Move forward with your head held high, knowing that your absence is not just a loss for them, it's a victory for you. And as you step into this new chapter, remember this: the people who truly value you will never make you question your worth. And those who didn't, they'll spend the rest of their lives regretting the day you walked away. So walk boldly, walk confidently, and never look back, because your absence is the beginning of your greatest transformation. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where someone knew they were hurting you, yet they kept doing it anyway? It's a gut-wrenching realization, isn't it? The pain of betrayal, the sting of disrespect. It cuts deeper when you know it wasn't accidental. Today I want to talk about that pain, but more importantly, I want to talk about the strength it takes to rise above it. You see, when someone knowingly hurts you, it says far more about them than it does about you. It's not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their lack of empathy, their inability to value what's good and pure in their life. But I know that doesn't make it hurt any less. Think back to a time when you gave your all, your love, your trust, your loyalty to someone who didn't deserve it. You stayed up late, replaying their words, questioning what you did wrong. You tried harder, gave more, and bent until you almost broke, hoping they'd see your worth. But instead of appreciation, you got more pain. And here's the hard truth. They knew. They saw the tears you tried to hide, the way your voice trembled when you spoke, the way you hesitated before saying, "It's okay," even when it wasn't. They knew, and still they kept going. Why? Because some people feed off power. They confuse kindness with weakness, thinking they can take advantage of your heart without consequences. But here's the thing. They underestimated you. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, they took more than they gave. But you're still standing. And that's where your power lies. Not in their actions, but in your response. You see, when you decide to stop letting their behavior define you, you reclaim your strength. When you choose to walk away, to set boundaries, to say, enough, you're no longer their victim. You're your own hero. It's not easy. It takes courage to leave behind what's familiar, even when it's toxic. It takes strength to look at someone you once loved and realize they don't deserve a place in your life anymore. But that decision, it's the beginning of your healing. And here's the beautiful part. The pain they cause doesn't define you, it shapes you. It teaches you what you deserve, what you'll no longer tolerate, and how to value yourself. Think of it like a storm. It's dark, it's chaotic, and it feels endless. But storms don't last forever, and when they pass, they leave behind clearer skies, stronger roots, and a brighter horizon. That's you. So to anyone out there holding on to the pain of someone who knew they were hurting you, let it go. Not for them, but for you. Let it go so you can make space for the love, respect, and peace you deserve. Because here's the truth. The people who truly care about you will never knowingly hurt you. And those who did, they'll have to live with the loss of someone who gave them more than they ever deserved. You are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and more deserving than you've been treated. So, rise above, heal, and move forward knowing this. Their actions may have hurt you, but your response will define you. Choose strength, choose peace, and never forget, you are worth so much more than the pain they caused. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. When was the last time someone disrespected you, and instead of reacting, you chose silence? It feels counterintuitive, doesn't it? But there's something incredibly powerful about silence. It's louder than words, sharper than any comeback, and more haunting than any argument. Today, I want to talk about how your silence after being treated poorly is not a sign of weakness, but a profound display of strength. It's not just about walking away, it's about leaving a lasting impact that speaks louder than any words ever could. You see, when someone disrespects you, they expect a reaction. They're ready for the shouting, the arguments, the emotional outbursts. That's their fuel. They thrive on chaos because it validates their behavior. But when you don't give them that satisfaction, when you respond with silence, it flips the script entirely. Imagine this. Someone throws a stone into a calm lake expecting ripples, but instead, the water stays still. No reaction. That's your silence. It's unsettling. It forces them to confront their own actions without the distraction of your anger or frustration. Your silence is not avoidance, it's control. It's the decision to protect your peace, your energy, and your dignity. Think about it. Why waste your time explaining yourself to someone who's already shown they don't value you? Why let their negativity pull you into a space where you don't belong? When you choose silence, you're choosing to rise above. And that's what haunts them. They start replaying their actions, wondering why you didn't react, questioning whether they miscalculated your strength. They expected a fight, but instead they're left alone with their thoughts and their guilt. Here's the truth. Your silence is a mirror. It reflects their insecurities, their flaws, and their lack of character. Without your reaction to distract them, they're forced to sit with the weight of their actions, and that silence, it's deafening. But here's where the magic happens. It's not just about them, it's about you. By choosing silence, you're choosing growth. You're showing yourself that your peace is non-negotiable. You're proving that you don't need validation from someone who doesn't respect you. And in doing so, you reclaim your power. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember this. Your silence is not weakness, it's strength. It's a statement that says, I value myself too much to engage with this. And that strength? It's transformative. As you move forward, let your silence speak volumes. Let it remind them of what they lost. Let it remind you of what you've gained. Peace, self-respect, and the freedom to focus on your growth. Because in the end, your silence isn't just your strength, it's your victory. And that's what truly leaves them haunted. So hold your head high, protect your peace, and let your silence be your power.